you need something new to listen, out of all the other shit, Bass Tapes has what you need, and it goes like this. Every other Friday morning, you get a little treat, something not too long and feels more complete. Bass Tapes, Bass Tapes, Bass Tapes. Please listen to our Bass Tapes.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bass Tapes. Today, our guest is King Condor himself, hailing all the way from West Australia. And I'm sorry if I caught you off guard there, Mr. Condor, but
you're okay. All good.
I'm in the mood to get going. You know, we're having a little preamble, and you know, I like to strike when the iron's hot. And you know, before this podcast that we're talking on right now, by the way, if you're listening to this podcast, you're listening it on the Based After Dark Patreon first. Shout out all the patrons. Thank you guys so much for the love and support. But we have indirectly worked together, I think, 2 separate times prior to this podcast.
Yes.
And
I believe that is true.
the first time was obviously the Based After Dark podcast you came on. I can't remember exactly what episode it was, but it's been about 2 years since you came on the OG podcast.
Yeah, that was a long fucking time ago. I think I had blonde hair back then.
Yes, and then Prison Joe, we used to do a series, the YouTubers read mean comments. You were actually you and a cold one were the last guest we ever did. We've not done another episode since then.
Oh, I didn't know that was the last episode. Oh, nice.
It was the last episode. It's something about it. Seth was just like, all right, let's scrap it. It isn't going as well. And we continue just to do our top Tuesdays. But I grabbed this from the episode because you were one of the first times I was able to work with a green screen in an episode. And I went back and looked at it. And I just love that I put the Queen in the background, and then it's like the American Oval Office, and then like I have like a whiteboard with like your set agendas and points for your content to the right.
There's absolutely nothing about Australia in there as well, which is the best part. So it's all British and American, and then even 9/11. That's great.
No, absolutely. And I looked at the to-do list, and I wanted to ask, opening up, has anything changed from that list that you're doing today presently?
Oh, it does say eat Vegemite. I haven't actually eaten Vegemite in fucking God knows how long, which is probably the least exciting thing you're going to hear during this episode.
Mm-hmm.
But to be honest, no, it's all pretty much the same. Yeah, no, nothing's changed really. If anything, the list just gets bigger.
The list
That's
getting
pretty
bigger.
much the play.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you just keep adding to the list, never really cross anything off.
Well, another thing I wanted to ask, opening up, is how has the YouTube grind been? Because I know that you stream on YouTube's and you take your streams and you make videos out of them, and then I know you also do like other videos, like where you stand. What is it, Rune News? You stand in front of a green screen and you give the recap for the updates and whatnot. How's that been going?
That's been honestly I think doing the whole YouTube only thing was a really good choice that I made back in 2021. I used to do Twitch when I first started. I started doing YouTube first, and then I started streaming on Twitch. And then I had to take a break just because of like IRL finances and stuff. I was still working. And then when I came back to content creation, I did YouTube and Twitch at the same time, and I found YouTube just to be a bit more well receptive to my content, the audience and stuff. And then I kind of just said, fuck it, like no one's doing YouTube. Why don't I try do YouTube and see what happens? And it's been really the smartest decision I personally think I've ever made for this business, because it's constantly grown my platform. It's made everything all on one network. I really should have been multi-streaming a lot earlier though. Like, it's kind of like when shorts came out and TikToks came out, the people that really blew up on them jumped on it straight away, and then everyone else just gradually started doing shorts and TikToks and reels over the years, and now it's multi-streaming. It's the same sort of like trend. I really should have started multi-streaming years ago. I'm thinking of starting that up again soon. But I think the YouTube train itself has been really good, really beneficial. but I think it's time to start doing YouTube and everything else. It's just hard to kind of step away from that one platform and then split my attention up. But I think I can do it. I mean, I'm prioritizing YouTube regardless still at the end of the day. It's just, it feels weird. It feels weird having the idea of going to have multiple channels or multiple chats. But at the end of the day, that's just kind of, that's the point of multi-streaming. You can have your chats all in one box now on like OBS and stuff. So
Yeah.
but the YouTube train itself has been great. The Rune News is just something that I kind of came up with one day, like 5 years ago. I just made it up. I was just sitting in my house, and I basically just thought, who are the two biggest retards I know in real life? And I thought of these two people. One is Wade Green, who's just some bloke I worked with once, who's an absolute fucking degenerate. And the other guy is Ryan, who was 2 years younger than me at school, but he ended up going to prison for like doing some pedophile shit or something. I can't remember the exact details at the moment, but he ended up going to prison. And I remember him just being a piece of shit at school too. So I thought, if I could use the names of two massive idiots that I know and just act like an absolute moron on camera, I've got the names, I've got the personas sorted. And so I just thought I'd do that and run the news. And over time, it just starts to get traction. And now it's like people go, where the fuck's Rune News? Like, where is it? Why haven't you uploaded it yet? And I think it's become basically the foundation of my channel. There was a small period where I stopped doing Rune News, or wasn't doing it as consistent. And last year, I went, fuck it, I'm going to do an episode of Rune News every week, every Wednesday. Even if JX doesn't put an update out, I'll do Rune News on something. I do it on every update, but yeah, if there's no update, it's like I've got to find something. So I just thought, fuck it, I'm going to do every day or every week, one episode, no exceptions. And I did that last year. I achieved it, 52 episodes. And I'm doing the same this year. That I'm going to just try and achieve every single week, get an episode out regardless. And I think having that as a base rule, as a bare minimum, it helps create the stability that I need for that channel and that like series to succeed. Not every week is a banger. Honestly, it does depend on updates. Ironically, massive updates like Yama release or like new quest release are actually worse. But I think that's because everyone's attention is focused on so many different videos and creators because they're putting videos out on the same update. But if you get like, like the Clue Scroll update's coming out soon, that's probably going to be a decent week for me. But it's just become a great foundation for a weekly video, a weekly update, and weekly interaction for people alongside streaming and stuff too. So it's been really good.
No, it's a really good system, especially like you said, like you stream on YouTube and then like your short form content comes out and like videos on YouTube as well. So like your audience is all in one place for you, right?
Yes.
One of the questions I wanted to ask was, what is it like streaming on YouTube versus Twitch? And not even just terms of like community, but what I'm more interested in is like discoverability, because I don't know anyone that watches live YouTube streamers. Really the only one that I can think of for like my anecdotal experiences. Have you heard of a Grand Theft Auto role player called Stax Wapo? Have you heard of him?
No, I don't think so. It sounds familiar, but I don't think so. No.
He's I don't even know how to describe him. He is so politically incorrect with his Grand Theft Auto role plays, but I think he's funny as fuck. But that's really the only YouTube streamer that I really have ever paid attention to. I know iShowSpeed was the biggest YouTube streamer. Is he still the biggest? I imagine.
Yeah, if you're still streaming on YouTube, I'd say yeah, absolutely.
And I just wanted to ask, like, how has like discoverability been for the streams? Do you find that your videos have a farther outreach, or does your stream compete with your videos?
I find with RuneScape specifically, I feel like it's probably different for other games and demographics. But specifically with RuneScape, I find that it is legitimately a completely different community. It's not like if you go to Twitch and you watch various streamers, especially if they're friends, you'll get a lot of the same chatters in like people are more or less sharing chatters.
Mm-hmm.
On YouTube, a lot of people that watch my YouTube streams don't even have a Twitch account. So it's in a way an untapped audience. I don't know if that means it's better for streaming though, because I mean they show up and a lot of them just go, I've never had a Twitch account, never watched a stream, but happy to be here. So a lot of them come back. In terms of discoverability, the common belief that a lot of people have is that Twitch has better discoverability. But I mean, this is a bit of a hot take, but I couldn't disagree more really, because Twitch is all the most viewers is at the top, right?
Yeah.
If I go to the Twitch website right now and I go to the RuneScape category, like the top, oh, my internet is fucking horse shit. The top RuneScape streamer now, you've got Perp 4.5k views, Skill Specs 2.3k views, Mutt's 1.2k views. Why would I scroll down to watch? Just go down here, 50 views, Canadian Goose 902, who's not even playing RuneScape. He's playing
that
whatever
sums up
bloop is.
the RuneScape Twitch community
Yeah.
so perfectly. It's like it's the top
That's
dogs,
it.
and then you scroll down, and it's someone like not even playing RuneScape that has
That's
like
it. Yeah.
10 to 40 viewers. So like they're just doing something
That's it.
completely different.
Absolutely right.
And
So it's kind of it's not fair in my opinion. Slave to Hard Mode Tob right now is streaming with 5 viewers doing Hard Mode Tob, but I think it's at the same time it makes sense to start on Twitch first, or at least it used to. Now that multi-streaming is a thing, I think you should do everywhere, because my discoverability on YouTube, it's not about the directory. It's about that I'm live because you subscribed and you should get a notification. I mean, it doesn't always work, unfortunately, but
yeah,
you should get a notification. Or if you've been watching my videos, my stream should pop up towards the front of your screen. And I think it's also easier just to get someone to subscribe to my YouTube video than to say, come to my Twitch on my YouTube videos,
Mhm.
because then they don't have to do external links. They just hit subscribe. So I think there's perks and I think there's perks to both platforms. Twitch is far more accessible because it's just streams, so you know what you're looking for. YouTube is the biggest social media platform on the internet, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot
lot.
more viewers,
Yeah,
but
there's a lot of content.
how many of those viewers are actually how many of those are actually looking for streams? How many of those, like, how many videos and streams are you competing with? There's also that. So I think it varies, but I find if you market yourself properly, and you do your shorts properly, and I think if you multi-stream, you can really push your demographic as far as you can. You just have to kind of be consistent. I think that's the main thing.
Yeah, it's staying consistent, but it's also I like how you pulled that guy the 5 years doing hard mode Tom.
Yep.
I wonder if that guy has a YouTube channel. I wonder if he has a Twitter account. Does he do TikTok shorts, Instagram reels, or is he only just streaming on Twitch? Because like you said, unfortunately, discoverability on Twitch is not good. It's if you start off on Twitch and like you're only doing Twitch and you expect to have like 10,000 followers in a couple months, it's probably not going to happen. Like usually
Absolutely right. Yeah.
you kind of have to know someone or like be in the community that you're streaming. Like God, if I could go back 8 years ago and like redo this, like my career differently, is I would be on Twitch every day, chatting in all like the high level tiered Twitch streamers. I'd be getting mods in their chat. I would make YouTube videos and then stream on Twitch, or multi-streaming didn't exist back then, so I would have to. That's about the only place you could stream, really.
Yep.
Kick wasn't a thing either.
I think that's that. Like, I mean, that's the benefit of hindsight, I guess. At the end of the day, like,
Yeah.
if I could go back that far, like, things would be so fucking different. I think another thing that people can do, it's very tricky, but well, I don't know if tricky is the right word, but I think it's a slow burner. But I think a smart thing that if there's a viewer out there that's dedicated enough to, I guess, a streamer in a parasocial sense, that you want to generate revenue from content creation, One, you got to hope that the creator isn't super greedy, but I would look at pursuing something that Odablock has done, which is the Odablock Clips channel, and
Mhm.
that started out as just a fan clipping Odablock's shit and then generating ad revenue, and it directs people to Odablock's content, right?
Yeah.
That's all it was. It was just a fan clipping his shit and uploading it. And I think if you want to make money through content creation, I think a good thing to do is to just go through and make clip content, make a clip channel of people's individual channels.
Yeah.
And as that grows, as it gets traction, talk to the creator. Like I think you'd have to be quite an arrogant creator to have a problem with that. If you wanted to say split the revenue from it, I understand that. But for the most part, it's like if someone was doing it and they had 7, 8,000 subs and it was growing 10, 12,000 subs after a year and so on, and it was getting a couple 100,000 views a month, you'd be like, yeah, look, link it to the main channel, go nuts, and we'll split the ad revenue or whatever. I think that's a fine way to do it, and I think that's a good way for people to earn a little bit of income on the side. Because honestly, making clips isn't that fucking hard. Doing clips from people's channels and then putting it in Premiere Pro or something, editing software, and you just have a format set up. Like you can upload clips from people's streams pretty fucking quickly. Um, and I think that's a good way for some viewers that want to go that extra far to support creators. Um, I think that's not a bad idea, personally. I would love it if someone did it for me. I know a few people have tried a few times, but I mean, I could do it myself too. I just can't be fucked. So I
Yeah.
understand why some people don't want to either.
No, it's really at the end of the day, uploading, even if it's only like 30 seconds to 2-minute clips, like doing it
Yeah.
every day from an active stream, like it's
Yep.
dedication. And that's why, like, obviously the Autoblock clipper was a mega fan, I assume, and
Yep.
did that every day for what almost a year and a half before Autoblock like hired him,
Yeah.
because Autoblock hired him, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. I believe he's officially hired now.
Yeah, and like that's awesome. Like I feel like that's how I kind of like got the position that I'm in. Being friends with
Yep.
Seth, and then being with Seth all the way through his Twitch grind, and then like his intermission, stepping away from streaming, coming back,
Yep.
joining Based, creating the YouTube, doing the podcast, and eventually like they saw like that I could do things, that I could help out the podcast, and now I run it. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Like you're running the fucking show behind everything. It's pretty good.
Yeah, and now like with Base Tapes, it gives me an opportunity to not only like run the things, but also like do things on my own, and talk to
Yeah.
people, and it's
Your own little
awesome.
project, and it lets people hear from the man behind everything too, which is pretty cool as well. Because I've personally not heard a whole lot from you other than what I've seen on Twitter and a few clips from different based podcasts. So it's good to speak to you and actually get to know you a bit more as well. Because it's I knew
Yeah.
that you were kind of helping run the show from behind. So it's good to be able to have your own little I guess project as well on the platform.
No, absolutely. And it's like it's not only like my project, but I view it as like a project and an invitation for Based and really any content creator on the internet. Like I send out a lot of messages, and one of the first messages I ever sent was to TDM Jesus, he's not a RuneScape content creator, he's a Counter-Strike case opener.
Yep.
And he's got almost 470,000 subscribers on YouTube, and I sent him a cold DM on Twitter, and the bloke responded and said yes, and we worked out a time, and he came on, and it was an hour and a half of like me being a fanboy.
Yeah, that's excellent. Fucking why not? That's
Yeah,
awesome that he said yeah.
it absolutely is, and like coming from like a position where like I used to get down in ditches and lay pipe, to,
Yeah.
to like doing something that like I didn't even think would be possible 3 years ago. It's really
Yeah. It
surreal.
changes it changes the way you think about it, eh?
It really does. And that like leads into like what I want to ask you next is, how did you get into this?
Uh by accident.
Yeah,
Mostly, I think.
yeah. I feel like that's
um
everybody. They
yeah.
stumble upon that.
It was basically I was just fucking around and making random ass videos. Like, if you went far enough back on my channel, which some people have recently, you'll see some low quality horseshit. That's got nothing to do with RuneScape. Um, just some of it's great. Like, there's a video of me going out with a breathalyzer and the boys, and we're just trying to see how drunk we can get in one night.
Uh-huh.
Um, but like, I didn't realize the breathalyzer only went to like a certain point, and I was well beyond that by that point. But it was just like we just went out and was just drinking and having a good time. It was a great video.
Yeah.
There's another one where I'm just like reviewing jelly beans, but I'm just like seeing if they're flammable or some shit. I can't remember. I think it was completely mindless, but it was just so shit that it was entertaining in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Made no sense. But then I just one day was like I was playing RuneScape, and I was trying to kill the Abyssal Sire,
Yeah.
and I was reading the wiki, and I was like, man, I don't understand this thing one bit. Like, normally it's pretty good. I don't use video guides. The wiki makes sense, but with the Sire, I was like, what the fuck is a respiratory system? So I went to watch a video, and it was Mr. Mammal's video, but it was like fucking 12 minutes long.
Yeah.
And I was like, this doesn't need to be 12 minutes long. It's like a 2-minute boss kill. So I just skipped to the point that I needed to, figured it out. And then I was sitting there for like a day and a half thinking, boss guys don't need to be that long. And I had a Hydra Slayer task. So I just made a boss guide on the Hydra. And I just literally started the kill. I just said, this is what I'm wearing. This is what you need to do. Did the kill.
Yeah.
Done. Uploaded. It was like 2.5 minutes or 3 minutes or some shit. And it was like my first video. Well, it was my second or third video actually that went like over 3,000 views, and it went up pretty quickly. It was my fastest growing video. And I was like, oh shit, okay, that was pretty cool. Then I
Yeah.
did one on the giant mole. It wasn't as big because it's the fucking giant mole.
Yeah.
And then the next day, the Nightmare came out. That was the release of the Nightmare. And I did it as the Nightmare was released. Went in, I watched one kill, then I went in myself and did the Nightmare kill as a guide, uploaded it, and then I just like went to bed. I woke up and I had 20,000 views on the video, and I was like, oh,
Yeah. Your brain's like, okay,
okay, I
keep
think I'm
doing.
onto something here.
Yeah. Your
Okay,
brain's like,
yeah,
keep doing this. This is good.
yeah,
Keep doing this.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I just did that, and then it just kind of snowballed. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna do all bosses. I bet that in hindsight, I wish I did it fucking 3-4 years earlier because the competition would have been much smaller.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad I got onto it then, and it was like, yeah, do as many bosses as I can. Try doing some quests. Fuck making quest guides, they're so shit. Never doing quest guides now that the quest helper is out too. Anyone asks, I say use the fucking quest helper.
Well,
I'll do them on release for a new quest, but yeah,
random tangent from that is like I feel so bad for Slayer Music that Quest Helper came out
yeah,
because he was the OG. I was
yeah,
listening, I was watching his videos back when I was 15, and the fact that like he
hmm
still like does quest videos to this day is just fucking awesome. But then
yeah.
obviously Quest Helper came out, and
Quest
that
helper just fucked him. Yep,
it fucked him right over.
yep. But new quest is still good for, but
Mm-hmm.
it cuts a lot of his old videos down quite a lot.
No,
But
absolutely.
it's yeah, that's pretty much how it went. And then like after the Nightmare video, I think I did one more. I probably did one on Cerberus or something. I can't remember. But that's when I kind of thought of the news idea as well. I had a green screen, so I was like, "Fuck it, let's do like Rune News," and I'm going to call it Rune News. I tried googling, no one had anything called Rune News, so I thought that's a good name for it. Like
Mm-hmm.
it makes sense. And the one thing I wanted to stick by was every week of Rune News. So every time I do an episode, I mention RuneScape 3, and all I do is say that it's dog shit. And
It's
that's
a
like
great premise.
that, yeah, that's like the cornerstone of the episode. Like people, a lot of them comment just saying, I'm only here for the RuneScape 3 news. And it's just like, if it's not me calling it dog shit, there's a fucking riot, you know? So,
Yeah.
yeah, but I think that's a good general rule to stick by. But yeah, pretty much that's just kind of how it started going and started snowballing, and then people were like, "Oh, you should start streaming." And I was like, "Man, I don't know if I want to stream. I say some questionable shit."
Yeah,
But I thought,
I
"Fuck
agree
it,
with
I'll
that.
go live." Yeah, yeah. I was like, I'll go live. We'll see how we go. Like, I don't want to say the wrong thing. And I went live once, and I was like, "This is the most fun I've ever fucking had." I had like 30 viewers or something on Twitch for my first stream, I think, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is so cool! I'm gonna go live again tomorrow," and then again and again, and I was starting to make a little bit of money. Um, and it was like I was playing mostly things like Call of Duty. I was doing a little bit of RuneScape and Theater of Blood, but it was like playing Call of Duty and shit as well, and having a bit of fun with my mates. Bit of like Heroes of New Earth, and then some stuff went down IRL, and I had to kind of put the pause on it for a bit
Mm-hmm.
because I needed to start doing overtime at work to get some more money going in.
Yeah.
And then when that all settled down, I came back, and it was like, all right, I'm going to do Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch at the same time, streaming, see how that works. Facebook immediately like went tits up. Fuck it, streaming on Facebook.
Yeah, I don't know
I s-
anyone that's ever streamed
no,
on
yeah,
Facebook.
yeah. People were doing it. I was like, I mean, I'll try it, and it was just fucking. It was a no, 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 immediately. The first thing I noticed was any sort of copyright instance. I still get notifications today, like 5 years later, saying there's a copyright problem here. I don't give a fuck. Like, leave me
Really?
alone. Like,
That's
yeah,
crazy.
it was really bad. And also no one fucking uses it, so that was in the bin instantly. And Twitch and YouTube were kind of neck and neck, but I was starting to gain a lot more viewers on YouTube, and people were joining the membership, and I was like, oh fuck, I forgot I had that. But people started jumping in on it, and I realized that the membership is cheaper for viewers. I get a bigger cut from it than on Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
And it just felt like I could offer more for it as well because it relates to videos too. So I thought, fuck it, I'm going to try YouTube full time, and then that's kind of just how I went down that path and stuck to it.
Yeah, I want to say that like your beginnings of streaming are far better than probably the 90% of other people that just start streaming, and they have 2 to 3 people that usually they know, and then one person they know, and then the other two are them, watching from a TV and a
Yeah,
phone. And,
that's it.
and then they do that for months and months until and some people stick it out, and they make it, and it's really rare when that happens, but that's good to hear that like when you started streaming, like you instantly knew that like, okay, I want to keep doing this, like this is something I want to keep
Yeah,
doing.
it helps having the YouTube channel and having an audience prior. I think you need to you can't be Tyler One anymore or XQC or Asmongold. You can't just go live every day and then eventually, like, I mean, some people will,
Hmm.
but it's not the majority of people. If you want to grow, if you want to become a big streamer or a successful one at least that can make money and even make a living, you've just got to get in as many people's faces as possible all the time, in my opinion. Um,
Well, I think that's evident from your Twitter
yeah,
and your drama
yeah,
farming, and
yeah.
I would say you're probably one of the most abrasive old school RuneScape content creators in the community, and I don't know. Hopefully you don't take offense to that. I don't think you would,
No, not at all. No,
but
I just don't care. To
yeah, no, I mean
be
it's
honest.
no, and like that's fair. Like that's just the real world, right? Some people
Mm,
are going to take their online persona very seriously, and to them they're going to say all the right things all the time, and if someone says the wrong thing once, they're automatically like, well, that guy's a piece of shit, and anytime I see something about
yeah,
him, I'm going to remind him he's a piece of shit. But
yeah,
unfortunately, in the world we live in, especially after Elon has taken over Twitter, is that only benefits you now, and uh, in
yeah,
terms of hate comments or interactions or disliking the video or commenting mean shit in a live stream, that only influences the algorithm to put you out. It may alter like who it gets put out to, but it's still
yeah,
increasing your input in the algorithm. And it's so funny that there so many people
yeah.
dislike so many other people, and if you just ignored them and didn't comment on their shit and didn't interact with them, eventually they would bleed out and they wouldn't grow anymore. And that's the funny thing. But haters generally do fuel your own success at some points in your career.
Absolutely, I agree. It's I find that, yeah, it's all about the reactions at the end of the day, regardless of what sort of what's the fucking saying? No publicity is bad publicity, or all publicity is good publicity. Or something like, I mean, that's
Yeah.
true to the majority of a degree, right? I mean, there's certain points where it's like, obviously, if you're beating women or doing things like that, it's a little bit different. But if you in terms of just straight up shit talking, I think you can pretty much do and say whatever you want. There's
Mhm.
always an audience out there for you. Like, it's like a lot of people just, they complain about people being. I mean, I get accused of being racist. I can't. I've not done or said anything racist in my content. Um, to the best of my knowledge, I mean, I get edgy with it. It's all. I mean, I make jokes, laughing at people that try to be racist by
Mhm.
mocking them.
Yeah.
But I get accused of being racist, and it's like, I don't think you understand what 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 it means to be a racist creator. But
Yeah.
people will still flag me as that. And at the end of the day, it's like, okay, but it's not like people are going to stop watching me even if you want to go tell everyone that. Like, a lot of people that watch me, they know what I'm like, they enjoy the content. And I find that a lot of people, I've had quite a lot of people come through and go, I used to hate you. I used to not like you. I used to think you were cringe. And now I can't stop coming to the streams. And I think that happens with a lot of people who creators that get a lot of backlash from viewers or from different communities. Eventually, everyone comes around to the king, at least anyway.
Mhm.
It just takes time. I think if you can, I understand not liking people's content. I understand not liking or seeing people and go, oh fuck that. There's some people I see and I just go, I can't be fucked. Like, I do not want to see that shit, or it makes me cringe. But then there's some people that I know for a fact that I've seen them and I've just gone, nah. And for some reason I just don't like it, and it's unwarranted. But I'm sure if I gave him a chance, I would enjoy it.
Yeah.
But you can't please everyone at the end of the day.
No,
But
and
you
you
can, yeah.
can't. Yeah, you can't. And you talked about people calling you racist. You don't have any hate for anybody for any creed, color, religion at all, right? You don't.
No, I couldn't give a fuck, dude. Like, yeah, I think everyone's retarded anyway. So,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I could
Well,
not care less.
that's one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on the podcast. I know you've done a couple podcasts. You've been on the Say Baycast a couple
Mm.
times. You came on Bases After Dark, but obviously, I feel like these podcasts are really good at humanizing people, especially
Yes, I agree.
especially with these one-on-one discussions. And I've talked to you before. I've had interactions with you before, and you're not a bad guy. You're not a mean guy. It's just that your internet persona is, again, abrasive, uh, and that is your style of comedy. That is your style of edge, and like that's just, it is what it is. Like, I don't think it's harming anybody, and like there are actually people out there that actually say deplorable shit on the internet, and like nothing is done about it or pointed out about them. And then I feel like
Yeah,
that people just pile on something that's more closer to home, if that makes sense, something more reachable. Because at the end
yeah,
of the
absolutely.
day, I think people just hate other people that they don't understand because they want to get liked on Twitter. Also, I think that's another part of it.
Yeah,
It's virtue signaling to an extent, and then like they
yeah,
go off in their real lives, and then they really just don't do anything else. Like, they might be nice to people, which obviously you should. If you're out in public, you should be nice to everyone. If they're being nice to you, that's just how civilized people should live. But in terms of like people think they're actually making a difference in the world, saying something mean to another person they don't like on the internet, it it's just baffling to me.
yeah. My favorite one is when people try to like tell you how your life is being lived. Like, they what's an example? Like, I'll say something and then someone will tell me like how I behave in public, or how like I raise my son or something, and it's just like, you don't even know who the fuck I am. What are you talking about?
Y-
And it's just like,
I stream
I don't even.
RuneScape.
It doesn't bother me. Yeah,
I,
I just go, what are you trying to do here? Like, this is, you could do so much better with insults if you were less dumb. Like, this isn't the big gotcha moment that you think it is. But they just like, they stick to this narrative that it's like, yeah, you're like divorced and you've got like 3 kids and you're depressed, and it's like, no, 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 none of these are true. Like, why? Like for some reason, everyone thinks I'm divorced. For some reason, I have no idea why. I've never even been engaged. Like,
Yeah.
I don't like. I have no idea where it came from. But just on Twitter, it's mostly like the same like 6 fucking idiots. But then it spans out,
Mm-hmm.
and I think if you do actually want to get some good interactions on Twitter, all you have to do is when I tweet something, just tweet on my like reply to my tweet with something that is like negative towards me, and all the silent haters will go ahead and like your comment.
Mm-hmm.
I find it's quite entertaining. It doesn't have to be true either. It's amazing how quickly that happens. I know like I know why it happens. It makes sense, but it's just funny to see. Like I'll make a comment and someone will be like, "Yeah, but you're fat and dumb," and then like you'll just gain like you'll basically ratio me on a tweet unless it's like a fucking hater. So
Yeah.
it's a good way to kind of get a few followers if you need them. Um, but that's just like at the end of the day, I like Twitter. Twitter does not have a huge amount of like relevance in my life. It's good for the publicity side of things. Sure, I don't really link my YouTube to my Twitter too much. I don't talk about my YouTube too much on Twitter. I'm mostly on there to stay in the loop with the content and the creators and the drama and what's going on because it is a useful resource as a creator. But fuck, it drives me up the wall sometimes. Just like seeing some of the shit on there
Mm-hmm.
that it just gives me a fucking headache. But I just think if I didn't need to have Twitter, I wouldn't have it personally.
Okay.
But if I just yeah, but I'm just a fan of speaking my mind. But that's how I've always been. Even in school, it's the same shit. Like it's not like it's something I've just developed because I do creation or something. It's I was the same when I was a kid. It was just I was a loudmouth little asshole. I wasn't necessarily like the bully of the school, but like I mean, I hung around with people who were I guess bullies to some people. But it wasn't necessarily me doing the bullying more or less, but I was definitely like a big shit talker.
Mm-hmm.
More or less. So it's not like it's anything new. It's just I've just always had this knack to tell people that they're wrong when they're wrong, more or
Mm-hmm.
less. Um,
Do you
and
do you think
yeah,
it's just like your upbringing in the area of Australia that you grew up in? Because uh, I know 5 different U's just over here in the south of the United States. I find, it's funny that we're both like former British colonies, and
mm,
I feel like the rural south and Australia are really comparable in terms of like
yeah, okay.
culture and habits and sharing. But loudmouth, uncaring of others' opinions. They like to drink. They go out and have a good time. And if you fuck with me, I'm gonna fuck with you. Like
That's that.
that's just how it is.
I don't yeah I don't think it's an upbringing thing for me personally though because I had a pretty normal upbringing. Like my parents were together, they still are together. I
Mm-hmm.
had 3 brothers, and they're nothing like me in that aspect. They talk a bit of shit here and there still, but they're like I'm definitely the more. I mean, I was the middle child,
Mm.
so I had that sort of middle child typical dipshitness. But
Yeah.
I think I don't know. I don't think it was necessarily my upbringing. I think it was just more or less just the person. I guess yeah. I guess you could label it the upbringing, but it would be influenced through the people I hung out with in school. More or less, I think I've always been quite the daring troublemaker. I guess in that aspect. So in a way, yeah. But it's not like in terms of like my brothers and stuff. I'm definitely if there was anyone that was going to do content creation and do the shit I do, it would be me by far.
Yeah.
Like I've got that outgoing personality, that loudmouth. Look at me. I like as soon as I started talking, I never shut up.
Yeah.
My mum always complains that I talk too much. So it's like, um, I just don't. I just lack. I don't know if lack empathy is the right word. I
Filter? Do you
just
think
don't.
a filter is
Yeah.
just uh
At the
y-
end of the day, yeah. Like I don't think a lot of people are just like I think everyone's open to criticism. Like, if you're going to put stuff on the internet, you're allowed to be criticized. That doesn't mean you should be criticized, I guess, but I do anyway because I just don't care. Like, I mean, it's really weird to think about I'm kind of self-reflecting. I'll use the BTC situation. Are you aware of what happened with BTCs?
No, it's funny you say that. I'm a fan of Biker and his group. I watch them regularly on Kick. I would say I'm friends with them, and I was in Hunter's chat earlier before this, talking to him, and I had no idea you guys had beef. I had absolutely no idea. So I go into Hunter's chat. I think you'll like this. I go into Hunter's chat and I said, "Yo, Hunter, I'm about to go talk to King Condor for a podcast. Wish me luck." And I was like, is there any questions you think I should ask him? And he kind of let me know that there was like some beef, and he told me to ask Bike. And I wasn't gonna bring it up, but now that you've already opened up Pandora's box, feel free to talk.
Yeah, well, that was that was a fun situation. This is a situation that I think it best describes how I handle drama in general. I'll jump on the drama train, like you see Odlock and Stella and Trident, or like situations around like the West Ham and Skits stuff. I'll jump on the train and talk about it and give my opinion on things. That's fine. I won't typically try to just directly attack someone unless they do something dumb. And Bikers was one of those people when this started last year, when 2 years ago when I was doing a subathon. When he got banned for having that 1 trillion on his account that had 1 trillion gold. And he was like, he basically just said Jagex has made it up. It's all fake. I've not real traded. And they're just coming after me for no reason. And I just sat there and I was like, well, you're full of shit. Of course you're real trade. What are you talking about? So I went and like, I basically just said, no, you're wrong. And him and his partner, Fred, basically sent a cease and desist to me through YouTube saying, take the reaction stream down. But YouTube said, you don't need to take it down. You haven't actually broken anything TOS wise. It's purely up to you. So I left it up. I was like, fuck that. And then I did a full investigation into his DM watch system, into the Discord. I had people who were high up in the ranks who were, I won't disclose any names because I promised I wouldn't, but people who were running the Discord, people who were friends with them, people who were right up there, were basically like, yeah, it's real trade. Here's what happens. Here's how it works. They showed me everything, pretty much confirming everything. I did a whole video on it, basically just saying, here's the real world trading. This is how it works. This is what you do. This is why you're doing it. This is where you're getting your money from. This is why you were banned. This is why you should be banned. And pretty much just did this whole video on it. And it pretty much just exposed the DM watch system. But obviously Jagex, being the people that they are, took a year nearly to actually actively ban deathmatching. But I pretty much went through and just said, went through and just exposed what was actually going on in the DM watch Discord, showed how it was real world trading, how they were selling it off for Bitcoin. And then he came back and basically thought he had this big gotcha moment with me because I uploaded a picture to my Twitter of me with being naked, but I had a towel over my cock. And that was it. I uploaded that to my own Twitter as a joke. I think it was even used in one of the podcasts thumbnails. I think it was the base. One.
It was the Twitter post questionnaire picture that we used to do. Yeah.
That's it. Perfect. Yep. So he took that and was like trying to, and like him and I think it was Mazhar, and did a bit of, they would like he would send me voice messages of those three talking. I think it was Maz. It definitely did a bit of, and I think it was Maz too. I could be wrong though. He would send me voice messages of them like laughing about the picture and at me and talking shit, and then he would sit there spamming me with like abuse and then deleting it. And I'm just like, you realize I uploaded that picture, right? Like it's not like you didn't just find this like secretly in my files. So I started the video by showing the picture on YouTube and being like, this is the picture that he seems to think I've got a problem with. And he used to come to my live streams and then just DM me, like abusing me on Discord while I'm live. So I would like show the chat, and then the chat would just shit on him while he was DMing me, and the DM was just be on screen. He would just straight up like flat out harass me because I exposed the DM watch thing. But I was like, the only reason I did it is because you were just flat out lying about Jagex banning you for no reason. Like you were. And that's the thing. Like, I don't care that you're deaf, that you're real trading, but don't try to like tell everyone that you've done nothing wrong, because that you're just full of shit. You know, like, own it. Bad luck. You got caught. Try again next time. But it was just like, it just kind of went in those sort of it just kept going back and forth for months of him just messaging me. I wouldn't hear from him for like 2 weeks, and then it would just be like 3 hours of just fuck you. You've got your shit overweight parent. Your son's gonna die. Fuck you. And I'm just like, what do you want from me, dude? Like, I would just stop replying and just keep screenshotting because he'd keep deleting messages. I'll just leave it. And then the last time he ever messaged me, when it stopped completely and it was all done, was when there's a clip of him accusing me of being Jagex's RuneScape lawyer. And we turned that clip into like a soundbite on the stream. So if you played like a card, it would have Btcs saying like, they're paying King Condor to be their RuneScape lawyer. And he was like talking to me in my Discord DMs while streaming. And then, so he was obviously watching the stream, and then someone played that card, and then he just went silent immediately and left and never came back. And he's blocked me on everything now. And yeah, it kind of just went radio silent from there. So I'm not. I'd imagine it's all. I mean, I know he's not doing anything RuneScape now, really, because of death matching being gone now. Anyway, it's mostly just like gambling and crypto stuff now, right?
Yeah, it's not even just crypto stuff. It's just he's partnered with a crypto casino. I will say that. So, wow, I didn't know about any of that. I obviously knew about Biker's account getting banned, and I'm going to be honest, Bike is my boy, but free Bike. He didn't do nothing, but I think he might have done something low key.
I did like I said.
I don't blame if he even did. Yeah. I don't blame him. $1 trillion. I mean, what was that market?
A fucking killing, dude. He was making so much money through it. I don't blame him for doing it. And like I said, I have no problem with the real trading side of things. People do it. Jagex doesn't crack down on it. It was just, don't bullshit. You know, that's all it was. So I saw it and took the opportunity. I went, fuck it. Like, you know, this guy wants the bullshit. I'll call him out. It was free content for me. It was good. It was a good time for my channel.
Mm-hmm.
And it worked out. Otherwise, it's just, you know, is what it is.
Let me ask you, was it, you don't think it was personal, right? You just thought it would be good content to talk about this.
I didn't go after him for anything personal. No, he definitely made it personal on his end with the way that he would react and message me and the things he would say to me. But I never took it personally because I'm just not that. I mean, I don't. It's very. It takes a lot to trigger me or upset me or push me beyond that point. So I just saw him messaging me and going, "Oh yeah, he's mad. Awesome." You know, like he'd say like, "Oh yeah, this is about my son." It's like, this guy is on the other side of the world and has no knowledge of my life. So his comment on my life is nothing. And yeah, but like the amount of shit I was being fed by like his mates that were helping him run the whole platform, it just made me more confident in what I was uploading. So I was feeling good about it, and I was like, yeah, the more he messages, the better it makes me look. So, but it was never like personal hate towards him. Like even now, like I know that I've had beef with like Did a Bitter and stuff, but I don't have any hate towards really anyone in the community. Yeah, sure, I might think a little negatively of people. I might have I mean, I think Did a Bit is a bit of a fucking idiot, but I don't hate him, you know, or anything.
Yeah.
That's just an example of like, you know, there's no personal issues I have with people. I just think if you do something stupid, you are going to be criticized for it by me at the very least.
No, which is fair, because that's what your content is about. I mean, God, America it eats this shit up in reality TV. Like that's what it is at the end of the day.
That's it.
And if you don't think that online creation is just one big reality TV show with a bunch of different cameras going on simultaneously, and then the creator shuts them off when they get off stream, I think you're wrong. I think everything is interconnected in a way. especially now. I mean, the amount of people in the scene streaming, making videos, even just making shorts and TikToks and Instagram reels about content it's bigger than it's ever been.
Yeah, absolutely.
And okay, so leading to my next question is, I wanted to ask you is, in what world is King Condor not doing RuneScape content? What other content do you think you would do?
One that I'm trying to do on the side a fair bit, I'm trying to start it back up again, is automotive, like car shit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so when I was first doing RuneScape stuff a couple years ago, I had a 1965 Mustang that was imported from America, and I was doing some videos on that. Then I sold it. Then I bought another 79 Chrysler Valiant 2 years ago, and I did videos on me like repainting it and kind of fixing up the bodywork on it. And then I sold that like last week, and I've got two new cars that I'm currently slowly working on, an Evo 7, and I just bought a 85 Corvette as well. And doing videos on that sort of content is really fun. Bodywork and panel work and painting cars, I've unironically just kind of fallen in love with doing. I didn't mean to, didn't even know I would, but I found it really fun. So I'm slowly doing that on the side. I'm just trying to find the mix between recording or what to record when doing it and what not, or should I just stream it or not? Like, is it too slow to stream? I don't know yet. Um, but the Misso and I are going to do some work with the Corvette and try to get the ball rolling on that. It doesn't do as good as the RuneScape numbers, of course, but there would be if there was an opportunity to take it, I would run it with the car stuff for sure. It's great for tax purposes as well.
Mm-hmm.
And otherwise, if it was to stick with gaming, it would probably be things along the lines of like Escape from Tarkov and Path of Exile and stuff like that as well, to kind of have a mixture of gaming and IRL stuff at the same time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's mostly yeah.
Well, I was for your Rune news. I mean, you play two different characters.
Yep.
Do you enjoy acting? Do you ever think you would do like maybe like IRL skits or some type of IRL content that that
Oh,
isn't cars?
yeah. I mean, it's definitely crossed my mind. I've got a mate who's always been like super keen on the idea of doing skits and stuff like that. The one thing I don't do well with is scripting.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing about all of my videos, all of my content, is that none of it is scripted. I don't write a script for anything. I might put a few dot points down on like a big video, but I haven't done a video like that in a very long time. But I will literally just wing it. So I think that's where I guess I just get lazy and go, I could do that, but that means I've got to plan it and I can't be fucked doing that. So I just go live instead and play RuneScape. And it really does limit, I guess, potential that I could make on the channel. And I think that's just a flaw in my work ethic at the end of the day. I
Yeah.
try to work as hard as I can. But I don't at the same time, I don't want content creation to feel like a chore more than it can feel like sometimes, because it is good. It is a blessing to be able to do this for a living comfortably. But
Yeah. Y-
there's nothing worse than the idea of hating it, waking up and going, "Fuck, I don't want to do this anymore." Um,
Yeah, in terms of
yeah,
being an editor, I sometimes find myself doing that, especially since like thankfully Top Tuesday it's not really a traditional RuneScape series.
yep.
It's not a Snowflake Iron Man, it's not a progression series,
Oh,
it's
they
not
fucking give me the
PKing.
shit. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
it's an interview show. We're literally taking parts of like Eric Andre, In Between Two Ferns, Caleb Presley, and combining it, and then like that
yep,
is what keeps it fresh and interesting for me because every episode is going to be different. Like I'll never sit there and edit the same video twice.
yep.
Now, if I was doing a fucking a one chunk Iron Man edit, and like they send me like 4 hours of footage to come through, and like they don't,
Oh, fuck that, man.
and they're like,
Yeah.
"Good luck." I'm just like, "Nope, I'll never do that."
That's
I
why I don't do series, dude. I tried to do like Hardcore Man series numerous times, and even though most of it was stream clips, I was just like, man, fuck this, dude. Like, it's just boring as fuck
It
and
really
slow.
is. It
Yeah,
really is,
yeah,
and like it's already too late to do it. Like,
yep.
who am I
That's
gonna
it.
beat? Am I gonna beat Swampathletics? Probably
No,
not.
you're not. That's it.
Probably
Yeah, that's
not.
it. Like fucking yeah, yeah, yeah. I find a lot of those accounts they'll do like good. They'll get like a good 20K subs in a couple months, and then they'll realize, holy fuck, this is boring and annoying as well. And to be honest, if you're not making a good amount of money, paying for an editor a lot of the time is a loss later as well. Like you're losing money doing that shit. You know,
No, yeah. I mean,
like
Seth
yeah,
didn't make a profit on YouTube for the almost a year and a half when
yeah.
he was paying me to do it.
Yeah, and things like thumbnails too. Like I love the work people make with their thumbnails. Like the Skull does some good thumbnails for me. Very rarely, I do most of my thumbnails myself. But when I need something good, I ask him, or animations, I ask the Skull. He does a great job. But like I couldn't do that for every video. I couldn't do that for everything I needed because fuck, I would just I would you'd be spending so much money. But I see people doing it when I don't even think they've got enough subscribers to start earning ad revenue. I'm like, I love the passion, but you don't need you don't need to be spending this money to get that extra. Like it's not adding the value you think it's adding. Like you're actually losing money on this. Like a thumbnail doesn't take too long to kind of put together. It's just it's yeah. I see people doing it and I go, damn, that's yeah. It's good for the artist. They're making money. It's good for them. It's good for their business. But shit, I guess I'm shitting on the artists, business a little bit because it's like they're making money off of these people, which is
Well,
their job. But
I,
I
I
just think, yeah, it's yeah, it's not
diminishing
necessary
returns.
early.
Diminishing
Yeah,
returns.
absolutely.
It's
Hmm.
when, especially starting off. I mean, God, uh, there are times I see on my like suggested videos, I see the thumbnail and I'm like, oh, haha, how many views does this have? It'll have like 72,000 views, and I'm like, for a
Hmm.
thumbnail like this, and it's like posted 5
Yep.
days ago, and it's like, who the fuck is this guy? And you go and you check him out, and he's an 8K sub YouTube channel, and his
Yep.
video just hit the algorithm, and that's just how it
Yep.
goes. Sometimes you don't need to pay, like, and also, if anyone out there is wanting to start content, I just highly suggest, like, just, I know it's daunting, I know it's time consuming, but just do everything yourself if you can. Try to
Yep.
do everything yourself you can. Do your thumbnails, do your own scripting for a video, come up with your own ideas, do your own editing. Because at the end of the day, no one is truly gonna make a project the way that like you vision other than you. Like thankfully,
That's it.
with me and Prison Joe, we've known each other for going on a decade now, and we've only been doing YouTube for about 2.5 years. So we kind of already see eye to eye on things, and we're pretty similar in like what we want to achieve and like what we're trying to do with the content. Uh, so like that's just lucky. A lot of people don't have that. A lot of people don't
Yep.
have an editor that they can call at 2 a.m. in the morning and be like, "Hey, can we review this right now and look at this?" Like most people don't have that. Man, if I was like getting shilled out to do that for like a corporation, I would be. I'm like, okay, here's the 2 a.m. charge, $2,000.
Yep.
But since it's my
That's it.
homie
Yeah.
and like I have creative rights over like what we're doing and like I'm part of the process too, like it's my baby, and that's like what
Yeah.
people need to
You
understand
care
is
about it just as much as him. Yeah.
no, absolutely. Like you need
Yeah.
to obviously care about it, and like starting off, no one's gonna do as good a job as you probably, in my opinion.
Hmm.
It's really not hard to
I
make a
agree.
RuneScape video, anyways. And really, just in terms of like, man, I know I'm old. I turned 30 this year, and I talk about like old YouTube videos like it's fucking World War II. I feel like it's years ago. Like the slop we used to
Yeah.
fucking watch
Fuck me. Yeah.
on 480p
Jesus.
camcorders that like families had and have probably been used to film sex tape that the kids never knew about. Like it's
That's it.
like what we were
Fuck me, dude.
and like dude, those were the fucking times, bro. I'll never forget like when you find like a gold video back from like 2007, 2008 and you're like, this is fucking funny. And it would only
I'm
have
watching
like,
that greatest freak out shit. The guy that gets mad because his mum cancelled his fucking WoW account.
yes, dude.
I know it all turned out to be fake, but when he was going ballistic in his room, that popped up like 2 weeks ago, and Misso was like, "What the fuck is this?" I was like, "You haven't seen this? Oh, you're in for a fucking treat." And she was loving it. Just like, what the fuck? This guy's going ballistic. It's just like you don't get that anymore.
No, here's the thing, like, that was faked back then, but, like, the internet was new. Like, no one knew it was
Mhm.
fake. People thought that was just genuine. And
Yeah.
and now I think everything's faked.
Yeah.
I
It's hard to like tell what is and isn't at the end of the day, but
eh,
I think I think titles are more important than thumbnails at the end of the day. If you get your if you have a semi decent thumbnail, but you have a good title, like the first 6 words of the title,
mhm.
I think that can really help as well.
Yeah.
Um, just on the note of like starting YouTube, you have to be clickbaity without lying. You have to use accurate clickbait. I like to call it clickbait. That's not necessarily wrong, but is enough to make people click it. To bait people into clicking your video.
Yeah, especially people that aren't subscribed to you. You know,
Absolutely right. Yeah.
an outreach, and, like, I feel like that's the number one thing that, like, I even still to this day, like, I've been doing this for a while now, but I still struggle with that. Uh, Creating the titles and then the thumbnails, and, like, they have to be interconnected, and, like, someone has to, like, see the title, react a certain way, look at the thumbnail, react a certain way, click on it, and then, like, immediately they have to be like, "Okay, this is what the video is about. I'll watch all the way through it." And
Yep.
a lot of the time, that's not what happens. It's like usually, well, for, the podcast example, I'm not really necessarily even talking about Top Tuesday, but for the podcast is someone will click the video, they'll watch for like the first 5 minutes, and then they dip out. And then I'm like, well, why did they do that? And it's like, well, because the thumbnail and title was at like 43 minutes into the podcast. So it's like, okay, well now
Yeah.
I have to make an intro that highlights what I'm talking about in the title and thumbnail, and that has actually helped with like viewer retention when you give like quick little highlights at the beginning of like
That's the
of the
tough one with
podcast.
viewer attention.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and like that's what pushes you out more than anything. Obviously, click through rate is good, but even if you have a bad click through rate, but and the view retention's high, YouTube will still put it out in the algorithm.
Yeah. It's all about how long people stay on the videos for, and that's just like that's the tricky one. I find that doing chapters can be pretty helpful sometimes, but I only really chapter Rune news properly. Everything else, when I chapter it, I just say intro, and 10 seconds later, I'll just have some random ass message. And then the last 25 seconds is the outro. So I'll have like a 30-minute intro, a 30-minute chapter on a 30-minute video because
Do you want to know the
fucking why
tech?
not? Like,
You want to know the tech?
yeah,
Do you use Adobe Premiere?
I do. Yep.
What you need to do is create a transcript within your sequence and export it as a text file, and then you slap that bad boy into a language model, whether ChatGPT or Grok or whatever. Use Grok, is for me it's turned out the best, and you
Yep.
ask it to give you timestamps, like YouTube style
Oh shit.
timestamps based on like the actual text that Adobe creates, and it's pretty damn accurate.
Damn, that's pretty cool because I've just been like kind of I mean I only do it properly on Rune News and I just do it to cycle through I just cycle through the video to when the segments are
Mm-hmm.
and then that's it. So damn, that's actually a good idea. Fuck. I'm gonna steal that.
Yeah, it's actually
Thank you.
no, it's high tech, bro. I got you. I don't get like
Fuck yeah.
one thing. Like, I became friends with Asterix, the editor for the Behe team, and
Yep.
like one thing that like me and him agree upon as like editors is like not to gatekeep.
Gatekeeping's so fucking it's not necessary, man. Like you're
It's really
not
not.
changing the game. Yeah. Eventually someone else will figure it out and then yeah, there's no point gatekeeping anyway. That's why I think like you said, you should do all your video stuff yourself. Absolutely. I think that's the best play. Um, I think the best thing you can do is set up a format and just fucking run with it. Like I one take a lot of my videos, but I think that's more of a talent of mine than anything. A lot of people might not be able to do that. They might want to write a script. But I think if you can have a consistent flow and not cut every so often, if you can help that, for some reason, a lot of people don't like when there's heaps of little cuts in a video. I can understand why, but I think if you can just build your confidence on camera and just kind of, there's nothing wrong with retaking and reshooting and just like trying to get at least like 15, 20 seconds of audio like consistent with what you're trying to say is it definitely helps with the flow of your video and makes it feel more natural when they're watching it.
Yeah, and
But
one
yeah.
thing I'll say to add to that point is like, you don't have to have yourself on camera at all times, and if you think like you're struggling with giving commentary on camera, and that's where editing
Mhm.
comes into play, where you show something else that you're narrating over, and that helps hide the illusion that you're cutting, and you actually sound like if you once you get like the timing right with editing, and like you edit down vocals a lot or dialogue, like you can make it flow seamlessly through editing, and
Yeah.
it does. People don't even know. So like that's one thing to be aware of as
Absolutely.
well. Mr. King Condor, to wrap things up here, I have one more question for you. Are we going to see
Mhm.
a nicer King Condor for the rest of 2025 or maybe the future?
You will probably see a more honest King Condor through 2025. Whether that means nicer, I think depends.
I kept it
Some people
vague
think honesty is nice,
for a
but
reason,
yeah,
very
yeah.
vague.
Honesty, it's nice to be honest, but it's you know not always nice to hear the honest truth. So
Absolutely. Is there
we'll see.
anything you want to plug right now, or anything that you're going to be releasing for the future? This episode will probably be out within a month. If
Oh shit. Yeah, okay. 15th of June, I'm starting my Uncapped Subathon of the year, my annual Uncapped Subathon. So if you happen to be bored and you're on YouTube, just search King Condor and you will likely see me live. Last year we went for 23 or 24 days. We're trying to hit the 28, 31, 35-day mark for the subathon. The clock doesn't stop even when I sleep the stream doesn't stop, sorry, until the clock hits zero. So yeah, if anyone sees me live on the YouTube going through that, absolutely come by. It's all completely advert free as well. So yeah, that's pretty much all I've got to plug personally.
All right, well that's perfect. Thank you so much for coming on, man. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for everyone who has listened all the way through, and we will see you next time.